The world is horrified of you, the person listening to these words. And this is because for you to fight back against the world, for you to reclaim your life, and for you to stand taller than the world dictates one should, it requires but a simple word from you, being yes. This is because you've been taught and indoctrinated into believing that the knowledge and understandings of the world reign supreme to those of your own, that you pale in comparison to the masses, and that through this you must submit to their proclamations. However, if this were the case, then how can it be that my words cut so deeply? How can it be that my words can ignite parts of your spirit long forgotten? Well, this is because I dared utter this word. I dared say no to the world and yes to myself. And with this, I came to realize just how little the world knew and just how much I did. The current way in which the world stands is one in which you are made to bow your head, one in which you are told to fit into the mold presented to you by the world, and to have your path be one that is in accordance with it. However, man does not fall within lines, for it is man who is the very creator of said lines. He who invents language cannot be captured by it. He who speaks truth cannot be beholden to it. For it is I that dared to believe in myself over the world, that dared say yes to everything that I knew to be true, rather than letting myself get swept up in the waves of the masses, in the waves of the world, the very waves that turn you from an individual into a mere droplet in this ebb and flow. And in doing so, I came to see that it is I who shall set you alongside the rest of man free. I who shall speak the words that shall tear into and through the very fabric of reality, and thus creating a new world, not just in my image, but a new world in which man will be free, free to do as he pleases, to act as he pleases, and to strive as he forever has longed for. But these grand claims of mine, they come with a price. For you see, in me uttering these very words, I put my very life on the line. I expose to you the very core of my being, for in you being able to peer, like you have now, into the very depths of my essence, you can equally dispel all to which I am with your doubts and false worries. You can cut me down as I stand here, you're simply ridiculing the words to which you hear, and in doing so, defiling all to which I have shown you, taking what was mine and twisting it into your own narrative that then leaves me dead. But equally, you can choose to join me on this adventure. You can choose to step into my world, the world that we shall build together, in the ruins of the world that we shall equally lay waste to. For it is in the killing of the old world order, the old set of shared beliefs enforced upon you by the world, that we can begin to tell a new story, that a new chapter of man can begin to unfold, and that can enable us all to live as we once dreamed we would, to rise to the heights that deep within we have always felt us to be meant for, and to become all to which the world currently says you mustn't be. But for this to take effect, for this rebellion to overthrow not just the belief of a few, but the shared belief of the entire fucking world, we must stand together, united as both the few and also the one, as those who shall lead the way for the generations to come, leading and creating the very path that man will come to walk. However, for us to accomplish this, the world that we now live in must first come to die. The good news in all of this, though, is that the world that we now live in, the world that we shall bring an end to, is a world that is a fortress of its own making, that brick by brick has been built from the foundation of nothing but weakness and pure weakness. And it is because of this because the opponent that I aim and will come to be the slayer of is so weak that even just with this single stroke of my sword, with this single video alone, I will leave cuts so deep that it will lead to its demise, carving my name into this world, and with those cuts then being the very ones that shall lead to its timely demise. But in all of this, a price must be paid, for you see, in life nothing comes free, which is why I ask you to join me. For while my victory is one that is fated, is one that is written in the stars, and is one that can never not come to be, I still need for those brave enough to look the world in the eyes and say no. Those brave enough to turn their back on said world and say yes, but this time to themselves. And in doing so, leaving behind them everything that is false. I still need for men who have the fucking nuts necessary to realize that we are about to bring forth the end of the world as we know it. And yet in spite of this, march forwards, following my lead, and doing so jollily. For they know that while everything that the world was once presented as will soon be nothing but the smoldering ashes and embers of that to which I will leave in my wake. But they equally understand that they are the frontier. They're the first people to explore this new and uncharted world, and thus they're the first who shall have claim to land, the first who shall impose themselves upon the darkness, and the first who shall be the ones to illuminate the new world. And so they walk forwards as I do, knowing that our victory is assured, and knowing that the weight of the world now rests upon their shoulders.